Hello everyone, welcome to my April 2019 haul video. Welcome back everyone to another brand new haul video. For those of you who are not familiar with the series of videos I do here on my channel, it is essentially what the title suggests. Every single month I go through all the things that I pick up during that specific month. This just happens to be April of 2019, and right now I am notoriously late with putting these up in the following month, so once again I apologize for that. But without further ado, let's get into all the things I picked up last month. First up here is something I haven't done in a while, I think, and that is I got some new books last month, and I just wanted to share them here with you. First up here is the book by Shusaku Endo, and it was adapted into a film by the great Martin Scorsese, and that is Silence. And as you can see here, it is the movie tie-in cover. I'm not typically a big fan of movie tie-in covers, but all of these books here that I'm showing you were all in the bargain section at my local Barnes & Noble, so I couldn't really be too picky. Next up here is Our Kind of Traitor, a John le Carré novel. For those of you who are not familiar with John le Carré, his books are adapted into several films now. I think his most well-known book to film adaptation is Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. At least that's my favorite so far. But yeah, I've been slowly getting all of his books in my collection, so this was one I needed to add. Next up here is a giant coffee table book, and I don't typically get these because I honestly don't have the space for them, but this was one I couldn't pass up. It's a giant coffee table book all about one of my favorite actresses of all time, and that is Grace Kelly. As you can see here, quite large, a gorgeous picture of Grace Kelly on the front, another gorgeous picture of Grace Kelly on the back. The title of the book is called Grace Kelly, Hollywood Dream Girl. I'm a big fan of Grace Kelly. I know there are a lot of cinephiles out there who think she's a bit overrated, who don't think she's a great actress, but for me, I've always really liked her. I thought she was just absolutely stunning on screen, and I've seen several of her films. I have several of them in my collection, and I'm looking forward to getting more. Also, all of these books I didn't find on my own. A friend of mine just happened to go to my local Barnes & Noble and set these books aside for me, thinking that I would like them. So I like to thank him out there. Thank you for picking these out for me, because I really do enjoy getting new books. It wouldn't traditionally be a whole video for me if I didn't show off some comic book related stuff that I ended up picking up, and of course, once again, I have them here. First up here is issues 2, 3, and 4 of a comic book series that I've been picking up, and that is the new series run of Shazam. Here is issue number 2. Sorry for the glare. Here is issue number 3. Also, sorry for the glare. Kind of unavoidable. And I also have issue number 4. And I also have issue number 5, but that'll be for next month's haul. I also have issue number 29 of the current series of Supergirl, written by Mark Andreyko. Once again, I probably sound like a broken record if you've been watching these videos long enough. I show off this issue every single month. So here it is, issue number 29. And last up here is something I've been wanting to get in my collection for several years, and unfortunately these editions that I'm going to show you just started going out of print. So if those of you out there have been looking for this same book, get it while you can, because it's starting to go for collector's prices, not only on Amazon but also on eBay. And this is the library edition put out by Dark Horse of Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 8, and this is Volume 1. I believe all of the Season 8 volumes are now out of print because the comic book rights are no longer with Dark Horse. They are over at Boom Studios, and Boom Studios is re-releasing this run in their own format and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure they made library editions of Season 8, 9, and 10, so I'm going to start grabbing them as soon as I can. If you are a fan of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, this is the official comic book continuation of the popular television series from the mid to late 90s into the early 2000s. And finally, all the movie-related things that I picked up in April. There are actually not much here. I thought I had picked up more, but heck, whatever. So first up here is a movie that I really like that came out last year. Very much a hidden gem. It's kind of a modern neo-noir, dark neo-noir, and that is A Simple Favor, which is starring both Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively. This is a really, really underrated film. I would highly recommend checking it out. I bought the Blu-ray edition because it was on sale for about $10, which I thought was fantastic for a recent new release Blu-ray. There is a 4K edition, so if you want to wait until that drops in price, go right ahead, do whatever you want. It's your collection out there. But I thought I would just pick up the Blu-ray edition. The next few things I picked up are things that I found in the bargain bin, and you never know what you find in the bargain bin for really, really cheap, so you kind of just take some flyers on some things sometimes. First up here is Tim Burton's Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. It's not a very well-received Tim Burton film, but it is a Tim Burton film nonetheless, and I thought, hey, for the price that I paid for this, why not take a flyer on it? The money I paid is worth it just to see Eva Green in a movie. I think Eva Green is a fantastic actress. Next up here, I think, is one of the most underrated films of probably the 21st century, and that is Master and Commander: The Far Side of the World. I don't know what it is about this movie. I've always really loved it. It is a slow period piece drama that takes place pretty much entirely on a ship. It is a film that is directed by Peter Weir, who I think is a fantastic director, an underrated director. He is one who did films like A Dead Poets Society, as well as Picnic at Hanging Rock. And next up here is a bit of a guilty pleasure for some, probably for myself as well, and that is the Nicolas Cage starring film, Gone in 60 Seconds. Don't ask me why, because I can't really explain why I've always wanted to add this to my collection. I think the reason is because every time I feel a need to watch a Nicolas Cage film, this one always pops in my head, and I don't own it at all. Didn't own it on DVD, but now I finally own it on Blu-ray. And yet again, for the price I paid for it, it's worth to watch Nicolas Cage steal cars. And finally here is a 4K UHD upgrade. If you remember last month, I got Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets in UHD 4K format, and now I have Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban in the UHD 4K format. That's the cover here. I am once again slowly getting all of the Harry Potter films upgraded to the 4K UHD format because they actually really needed it, because those old Blu-rays look old essentially, so they look much better in the new formats. So that has been my haul video for April of 2019. If you like this video, please check out the other videos on my channel.